What's up, YouTube? It's Mikey C here again, and today I'm giving you my third installment of an 8 video series I'm trying to do for all the NFL divisions, doing like a 7 round mock draft, and then what their roster outlook's going to be possibly come 2020. Before I get into that, I hope everybody's doing okay. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I know it's crazy out there, but I know a lot of people are at home, so this is something that kills time. I hope everybody's enjoying what I'm doing here. So with this version, NFC South, we got the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, and the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's gonna be fun. So let's go ahead and, as I said in the last video, I'm doing a mock draft upon my own rankings and all that stuff, and no trades because it just would be crazy to try to do that. And then when it comes to the rosters, I'm doing it on just how I foresee them being when the season or when preseason starts. I'm getting a lot of my intel from ESPN website and stuff like that for rosters and whatnot. But everything else is just me, just the little knowledge I do have. So for the mock drafts here, see we got the Falcons getting Patrick Queen at linebacker. Wasn't a dire need to get, but he was quality pick there at 16, and he could fill in a hole there. Marlon Davidson is a guy that can play many positions there on the defensive front, and he would be a really good find next to Grady Jarrett. Picking up KJ Hill and Bryson Hopkins could help fill the void when they lost. I think it was Mohamed Sanu and then Austin Hooper. That can take care of that there. And then Lavert Hill, Kaliki Hudson, and Khalil Davis. They're just kind of just filling holes or upgrading depth is what that is there. And Panthers, with their new, they lost some defensive players and they lost some offensive line players. They actually lost a lot of players. So they just needed help kind of everywhere. And if they were able to get Derek Brown, which is very, very possible at 7, and then getting AJ Apencia in the 2nd round, that's going to make their, I pull up the roster here in a little bit, that's going to really solidify their front three because they're in a 3-4 defense. Cesar Ruiz is probably a late 1st round, early 2nd round pick, but I just haven't fallen in my mock draft. Picking up Colby Parkinson late because now they don't have Greg Olsen. They just got Ian Thomas, and then don't be surprised if Shaquille Quarterman ends up being playing a lot of snaps in this upcoming season. The States didn't have many picks. Everybody's saying wide receiver, but they did get Emmanuel Sanders, and they do have Traquan Smith from last year, and of course, arguably the best wide receiver in the game, in Michael Thomas. So I went with the best player available on the board, and he also could help with depth and even start in Zach Bond. Calvin Throckmorton, they don't need a dire need on the offensive line, but with Taron Armstead possibly leaving after this year, Andrews Pete possibly moving to the left tackle, they could use left guard, and Calvin Throckmorton could be that guy. Davion Taylor is a player that I'm really interested in seeing. He's going to be, I think he'll get a red shirt this year, but he's got talent. He's just untapped. And same with Antonio Gandy Golden. He's another big receiver, and he could be a great end zone threat, as well as Steven Sullivan, because he's a big guy, he's tight end, but he could also fill in as a wide receiver as well. So with what they had to deal with, I think the Saints end up doing pretty decent with these picks. And then the Buccaneers, they're going to have to protect Tom Brady. Their offensive line isn't the greatest, but getting Andrew Thomas and John Simpson there was a good start. They just still have Donovan Smith, Ryan Jensen. The offensive line is pretty solid. J.K. Dobbins, they don't really have a running game. And getting a player like Dobbins to pair with Tom Brady behind a rebuilt O-line it could be pretty scary. And Lynn Bowden teaming up with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. That 3 wide receiver set, that's just giving options for Brady, and he's gonna be licking his chops there because he's not gonna have that strong downfield throw, but he's gonna have receivers close by that can create after the catch, especially with Lynn Bowden, because he can play many positions. He can even do the wildcat quarterback if need be. And then I just haven't fill some depth there with AJ Green, Alton Robinson, and Douglas Coleman. So let's go ahead and look at the Atlanta Falcons possible 2020 roster. In bold are the starters. On offense, still going to be Matt Ryan, Matt Schaub backing him up. No surprise there. Todd Gurley, the big signing. If he's healthy, this offense could, the offensive line is pretty solid. So having Gurley there, and if he can put up some numbers, and then you have a great receiving duo there in Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, and some decent depth. Getting Hayden Hurst to fill in after Austin Hooper left. This offense is built to put up some numbers. The defense, you've got some players there. Deion Jones, Patrick Queen, and linebacker, and Foyesade Olokun. He was a surprise late pick, I believe, from Yale a couple years ago. 7th round pick, 6th round pick. So the secondary is pretty good. Kendall Sheffield and Isaiah Oliver and the safeties. Your front four with Dante Fowler stepping in now. You have Grady Jarrett, Marlon Davis coming off the bench. If Tack McKinley can put up double-digit sacks, this defense can end up being pretty good. They are playing in a division that's possibly able to put up a lot of points with each team. A couple new quarterbacks with the Panthers and the Bucks, but you still have Drew Brees. So this is it's going to be a pretty tough hill to climb. They'll be fighting for second because I think Saints are still going to win this division, but between the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Panthers, they'll be fighting for the second place for sure. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers starters are in bold there. We got Teddy Bridgewater, the new quarterback coming in, another new quarterback possibly backing him up, and PJ Walker. Then you got running back Christian McCaffrey just signed a ridiculously big deal. He's definitely worth every penny for sure. Guy's going to be do it all, and I'm interested to see him in Matt Rule's offense. Got new receiver Robbie Anderson to pair up with DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. A lot of weapons there for Teddy Bridgewater. Ian Thomas is possibly up and coming, and Kobe Parkinson was picked in the later rounds to help out. You got a good slot guy and Farrell Cooper. That offensive line, it needs a little work, but I think the talent's there. Especially if Greg Little can, have a better second season, possibly even take over Taylor Martin on the right tackle. The offensive line could be pretty solid, and this offense can probably put up, 20, 30 points a game easy. Their defense now, on paper, to me, I think looks really solid. Especially as I said, these rookies, AJ Epinci and Derek Brown, team up with Quan Short. And then you have linebackers Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson coming in. The secondary is where they're going to be hurting. Losing James Bradbury and Eric Reed, which baffles me. I mean, the guy's a solid player. I don't know why they would let him go. But their front seven, I think, are going to wreak some havoc. Very stout. I mean, that defensive three, going against the Tampa Bay team whose offensive line isn't too good, it's going to cause problems for Tom Brady. So he's definitely going to have to get it out fast, at least those two games. And then Atlanta's offensive line is pretty solid, so I'm interested to see that matchup. And the Saints isn't bad either. So Carolina said they'll be fighting for the number 2 seed, but they may be the odd team out and end up being last in this division. Next, we got the Saints. One more crack at it from Drew Brees, so maybe he can get them to the Super Bowl and maybe win another chip, and then hand it over to Taysom Hill. Alvin Kamara there, still running back up Latavius Murray. You got arguably the best wide receiver in the game, Michael Thomas. Emmanuel Sanders is getting a little long in the tooth, but he still puts up numbers, as saw with the trade when he helped the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl last year. Traquan Smith had a underrated, if not unspectacular rookie season, but he's a guy that I think is going to put up some more numbers this year than he did last, and I really think Antonio Gandy-Golden is going to surprise some people. Maybe be another late find like a Marquise Colston a couple years back. And then you still have Jared Cook and Josh Hill there at tight end, pretty solid. And as I was talking about the offensive line, Terran Armstead, Andres Pete, Eric McCoy was a great find. Larry Warford, Ryan Ramsey, and they got decent depth. Not great depth, but they got decent depth there, especially after adding Calvin Throckmorton, who can play a tackle or guard spot. So their offense is going to still put up amazing numbers. Michael Thomas is going to try to reach 200 catches, which I know it's not going to happen, but I would not be shocked. And then this defense is solid. They got great defensive front four. Linebackers are really spectacular. Demario Davis is very underrated. I think Zach Bond can put up some solid numbers. He could possibly put up double-digit sacks this coming year. Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins at the cornerback, and then Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams at the safety position. So Saints, it's their division to lose. They'll probably win at least 11 to 12 games again this year. They'll probably split. I could see them going 4-2 or even 5-1 in the division this year. So that's going to be their division to lose, and they're going to fight again to try to make it to at least one more Super Bowl with Breeze as a starting quarterback. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they have this quarterback that happened to just get signed for $30 million, I believe it was, Mr. Tom Brady, expatriate. I'm really interested to see if he can put up the same numbers. Was it really Brady that did all that magic, or was it really Belichick? So over the past 20 years, I'm really curious to see if how Brady succeeds here with the Bucs. He's got a good coach, and he's got a decent team. This team could easily, definitely win to get second place in this division, and it's not far-fetched to say they win it. You got Mike Evans, a guy that's very solid. Chris Godwin, Lynn Bowden, rookie coming in. J.K. Dobbins, another rookie running back, though. He put up great numbers at Ohio State. And having Tom Brady as your starting quarterback and being a stout running back and having a good wide receiver corps and a decent offensive line, J.K. Dobbins could be in the running for best running back rookie this coming year. And them drafting Andrew Thomas instead of a quarterback like there were talks of, but since they signed Tom Brady, he's gonna be, and it's kind of hard to say a steal at 14, but because he was talked about as a top 5 pick a couple months back, but he's gonna end up probably being like the third or fourth tackle off the board, and I think he has a chance to be the best one of them all. So their depth is bad though. So as long as they stay healthy, and keeping Tom Brady upright, Tampa Bay Bucs are going to win a lot more games than expected before the Brady signing. And their defense is solid. Ndamukong Suh is still there. Vita Vea is probably the best nose tackle. He just clogs up that middle. He can let JPP and Shaquille Barrett, and if Shaquille Barrett can have another year like he did last year, Devin White and Levante David, that front seven could be scary good. And their depth isn't too bad either. And the secondary is young, but it's very, very talented. And, Carlton Davis, Jamal Dean, you have great special teams there too with Jamal Dean. He's got speed for days. I can only imagine what he would really be looking like if he never did tear his ACLs. I believe he did it in both knees in college or in high school, whatnot, and he still, he made it to the pros. So this defense is going to be good. Look for them to surprise some, not just because of Tom Brady. I think if Winston would actually came back, I think they still would have been a pretty solid team, even if it was all these replacing Brady with Winston. But you do have Tom Brady. You're not going to have 30 interceptions this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up double-digit interceptions this year, but it's not going to be 30 like Winston did last year. So that's what I think the Bucs roster will look like. But I appreciate everybody watching. Next up, I'm gonna do the AFC South. Try to get it out tomorrow. Now I'm gonna try to do this like every night up until the draft. Have a mock draft. I want to try to get 2 mock drafts out. One with some mock trades, and the other one just the last final. Send it out Thursday morning. See how close I come to getting all 32 right in the first round, and it's gonna be really fun to watch this year because it's gonna be different with everything that's going on and no fans and all that. So. But for those that did actually watch this, appreciate you. Thanks for the love. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Be safe.